Good evening. I'm Alan Groves, Dean of Students for all schools of the university, and I get to be the first person to say to you, welcome to Whoville, otherwise known as UVA. Now, we traditionally hold this opening convocation on the lawn, but as you are all too aware, COVID-19 has upended many of our traditions and plans. But this doesn't alter in any way the fact that you are starting what I hope will be one of the most memorable journeys in your life. So whether you're joining us as a new first-year undergraduate, as a 1L in the law school, as an undergraduate or graduate transfer student into the university, or just starting your graduate or professional education in one of our 12 schools, I want to say welcome to the University of Virginia. You're now part of a very special community, and in a few years, you will join one of the most fervently loyal alumni networks in the country when you walk down this lawn and take your degree. And I promise you, you will get to walk down this lawn. Now, while it's true this fall that you may not get to play rugby in Mad Bowl, or enter Old Cabell Hall for an a cappella concert packed with your friends, or sway with 100 other students singing the good old song, or huff and puff your way up Humpback Rock with 25 of your closest friends, this will still be a memorable time in your life, with lots of opportunities to bond with friends and enrich your mind. And we will overcome the current COVID-19 challenge and be right back doing all these things we love so much. I'm very happy to have you joining us this fall. Now, in a few minutes, you'll hear brief remarks from 4 key student leaders at the university. Ellen Yates, President of Student Council. Trey Tennyson, the President of the Graduate and Professional Student Council. Ryan Keene, Chair of the Honor Committee, and Gabby Cox, Chair of the University Judiciary Committee. But first, I'd like to turn the podium over to Jim Ryan, the 9th President of the University of Virginia, to offer his personal words of welcome to you as you begin your new journey as Wahoos. President Ryan is beginning his 3rd year leading UVA after a long stint as a distinguished professor in UVA's School of Law, followed by 5 years as Dean of the Harvard University Graduate School of Education. He's also the author of 2 best-selling books. President Ryan has challenged us to be a university that is both great and good, meaning that we should pursue excellence in all that we do, be it research, teaching, athletics, or the arts, while always striving to do so in a manner that is ethical and good and right by the community we serve. Only in this way may we achieve our public mission and our objective to graduate true citizen leaders. President Ryan.
Thanks to Dean Groves for that introduction, and thanks to all of you for watching. As you've heard, my name is Jim Ryan, and I'm the President of the University of Virginia. And on behalf of the entire community here, I would like to welcome you, the class of 2024, to one of the finest universities in the world. This is not an ordinary convocation, as this is not going to be an ordinary year. But you know that already. Most of you had to finish high school online. You may have attended graduation virtually. You've missed proms and other events, and you likely spent much of this summer at home. For all that you've missed and given up, I'm truly sorry. And I wish I could say it's over, and that we're back to normal. But you also know that that's not the case. This year at UVA will undoubtedly be different than any we've seen in our lifetimes, regardless of whether you're on grounds or online. There will be some challenges for sure, but there will also be some opportunities and some advantages. One immediate advantage is that my speech this year will be much shorter than it would have been had we been together in person on the lawn, which I think you can count as a blessing. So let me get right to it and make one quick but important point and offer one small but hopefully memorable piece of advice. This is not about COVID-19, which everyone is talking about for obvious reasons, but instead it's about the community you're going to enter, not just this fall, but for the next 4 years and indeed for the rest of your life. So the point I'd like to make is simple and obvious, but it's worth emphasizing. You belong here. I don't mean by this that you need to be here physically. I mean you all belong as members of this community. You deserve to be a part of this community. I say this as someone who was a first-generation college student, as more than 1 in 10 of you are now, but it's a message for all of you. College will open doors for you and change your life in ways you probably can't even imagine at this point. And you'll look back on your time here, I hope and trust, as four of the best and most important years of your life. I recognize you may not feel that way now, as it's only natural when you join a new place to feel slightly uneasy. And that's equally, if not more true, if you're joining a new community virtually. I attended a small, nondescript college in New Haven, and I still remember when I arrived on campus my freshman year. It was like landing on a new planet, one where I didn't know the language or the customs, one where I didn't feel like I fit in. It took a while to feel comfortable, but eventually it felt like home and became a place I fell in love with and still love to this day. The same thing happened when I came here to UVA for law school. My deepest hope is that you'll have a similar experience. You are entering an incredibly caring community. The faculty, staff, and your fellow students will care not only about how you do in the classroom, but how you do outside of the classroom as well. They'll care about this whether you're here in person or online. So please understand this. You belong here. It doesn't matter where you're from, the color of your hair or the color of your skin, your gender, your sexual orientation, your religion. Whoever you are and wherever you're from, you belong. People are fond of saying that this is Mr. Jefferson's university, but know that as of this day and from here on out, it is also very much your university. Okay, so I also have one small piece of advice which I hope you'll remember, and it's this. When in doubt, build a bridge. I don't mean this literally, except maybe for students in the architecture and engineering schools. I mean, make a connection and engage. To be specific, I encourage you to make an effort to reach out and get to know someone who comes from a different background, or who looks different than you do, or who took a different road to get here. You're joining a remarkably diverse community, but even amidst this diversity, it's easy to stick with the familiar. I promise you will have a richer experience here if you build bridges across lines of apparent difference, and that you'll discover just how much you have in common. As you engage with your peers, I especially encourage you to engage with people or ideas with which you disagree, perhaps quite strongly. This is one of the best ways to sharpen your own thinking and sometimes to even change your mind, both of which are part of learning and growing. And I encourage you along the way to be a generous listener, to do your best to understand a view, to assume best intentions until proven otherwise, and to understand the rationale and motivation behind someone's opinion before deciding whether you agree or disagree. I would also encourage you to reach out to our amazing faculty and make an effort to get to know them. They are a remarkable group of people who are passionate about their research and about teaching. UVA has a well-earned reputation as a place where faculty generally care about their students and about teaching. So engage while you're in class and go to office hours if and when you can, whether virtual or live. Getting to know faculty at UVA will make it feel more like home. And while you're at it, look for a chance to build a bridge to the broader Charlottesville community. This is a wonderful place, but like other small cities, it has its challenges and a complicated history. I encourage you to learn about this history and to engage with this broader community. There are countless ways to do so, including through the amazing programs at Madison House. UVA is your immediate home, but UVA sits within a larger community. And if you get involved in that community, I predict you'll gain as much as you give. These are just 3 examples. There are other ways, many other ways, to build bridges during your time here that will become apparent to you. I don't intend to exhaust all the possibilities. Instead, I'd like to get a very simple idea stuck in your head so that it pops up when you need it. When in doubt, build a bridge. Now, I realize some of you are probably thinking, well, how am I supposed to build bridges from home, or if I'm wearing a mask and standing 6 feet apart from other people? As with all things related to this pandemic, it's going to be more challenging and will require more creativity. And some bridges may have to wait until all of us are back here in person and we're back to something closer to normal. But you can absolutely begin now, no matter where you are. And in fact, with the pandemic making everyone feel a little bit more isolated, it's going to be even more important than ever to reach out and create new connections. I can't tell you exactly what those bridges will look like for you or how exactly you should build them, whether you're here in person or online. That's for you to decide. I can only tell you there will be many opportunities and that the effort will be worth it. You'll discover remarkable things on the other side. Lifelong friendships you might not have had, knowledge you might never have gained, and perspectives you might never have considered. Every time you build a bridge to somewhere or someone and you make a connection, I promise you'll be happier for the effort and our community will be stronger as well. So welcome to the UVA community and the UVA family. I can't predict what this semester will bring. No one can. But I have faith that while things will certainly be different, the next few months will also offer opportunities to connect with some amazing people, to broaden your own horizons, and to make this community stronger, no matter where you happen to be. All we ask in return is that you engage, that you act responsibly, and that you treat others, whether faculty, students, staff, or members of the community, with kindness and respect. The next time we all get together as a group, hopefully in person, will be 4 years from now on the lawn for graduation. All of you, all of us, will be different people then, shaped by the choices we make over the next few months and the next few years. I hope you choose to build bridges. Thank you and good luck.
Hello, class of 2024, and our wonderful transfer students. My name is Ellen Yates, and I am the president of Student Council. I'm so excited to welcome you to UVA and to our community. We are so glad you're here, even in the midst of these uncertain times. How many times in the last several months have you heard that word, uncertain? Perhaps too many times to count. I know that for most of you, the uncertainty of our moment is unwelcome, especially because under normal circumstances, there are usually parts of the college experience that we can expect with certainty. Football games, nights out with friends, packed events on the lawn. Uncertainty, however, is actually what has made my own path through UVA the meaningful and rich experience it has been. It was my lack of certainty about what my academic path would look like that led to the discovery of my interests in religion, politics, and human rights. It was my lack of certainty about where I would find my home at UVA that led me to explore my passion for leadership and community building in different organizations, forming close friendships along the way. And ultimately, it was my lack of certainty about how our community could be made better that pushed me to seek out opportunities for change making. To me, that is what the true college experience is, taking the unknown and unpredictable and making it your own. As an organization, Student Council is also trying to lean into this uncertainty. We've been working hard this summer to ensure that the needs and concerns of our community are heard by administration and that the most equitable and effective policies are enacted. However, student self-governance, a phrase you will hear frequently in your time at UVA, is fundamentally about your ability as students to act as individual agents of change. Student Council's role is to help equip students as best we can to be these instruments of change in whatever endeavor they choose, whether it be by helping connect students to important resources, serving as a bridge between students and administration, or amplifying the work and voices of students and their organizations. How you engage with those resources and how you use your voice in your time here is up to you, but know that we are here to support you, to listen to you, and to stand alongside you. This year may indeed be an uncertain one, but I want to impress upon you that you will never be alone in this unpredictability. You are joining a community of people with a wide variety of passions and a fierce love for their school and the students who comprise it. There is little you cannot find at UVA if you're looking with an open mind. No doubt, with this community comes significant burden of responsibility. The responsibility to look out for one another's safety, to hold each other accountable, and to prioritize each other's well-being. We have important obligations to each other that we must not abandon during this time of uncertainty more than ever. So do not be afraid of uncertainty. See it for what it is, the good and the bad, but know that, no matter where you're living or learning, there is always one thing you can be certain of. Each of you are deserving, are loved, and are welcome members of this community, and we are so excited to have you here. I wish you the best of luck in the coming year, and know that we have your back no matter what happens. We're all rooting for you every step of the way. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Trey Tennyson, and I'm the chair of the Graduate and Professional Council, and welcome to UVA. The Graduate and Professional Council is the representative body tasked with advocating on behalf of the university's graduate and professional students. Like so many of you, I am excited and nervous about what this next year may mean. We stand collectively at a moment that demands adherence to our highest ideals, and yet so much has already been required of us. We felt the loneliness of being separated from friends and loved ones and the fear of looking out at an unfamiliar world. We felt and still feel the desperate hope that life can resume and our troubles can finally be behind us. These and so many other challenges are what we will carry with us going forward. But what excites me now is how we plan to put this hard-won wisdom to use. Together, imagine the things we can create, the programs we can put into place, and the supports we can build. As we make sense of a world we've inherited and then been told to change, I know we can rise to the occasion. I've been where you are twice. I was an undergraduate at UVA, class of 2010, and am now a second year at UVA's Darden Graduate School of Business. So on two separate occasions, I looked at this university and all the possibilities held within and wondered where I would fit. Who would I meet? And at what point would this place begin to feel like home or home again? I've been where you are twice. I was an undergraduate at UVA, class of 2010, and am now a second year at UVA's Darden Graduate School of Business. So on two occasions, I looked at this university and all the possibilities held within and wondered where I would fit. Who would I meet? And at what point would this place feel like home or home again? And the answers came. And not from imagining myself as separate from the university or where it was going or what it could be, but by diving in, getting active and involved, finding the friends that I would grow with and love not only for 2 years or 4 years, but for a lifetime. As we pushed, supported, challenged each other, and made space for each other's peace and frailty. For being a student at UVA is at its heart about striving to be fully human and cultivating those key relationships and experiences that advance your community and reveal to you at all times who you are. You are now entering a very special place at a very special time, and I'm excited to see how you will uplift, transform, and grant us the benefit of your wisdom and good nature. So, again, welcome to UVA. Our community is stronger, wiser, and more complete now that you are here. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to University of Virginia. I wish you were all here in Charlottesville with me, but while we may be apart physically, I am so excited to welcome you all into our community. My name is Ryan Keene, and I'm a rising fourth year in the Batten School of Leadership and Public Policy, and I'm serving as the chair of the Honor Committee for the upcoming year. The reality is, we are in a crisis, but with crisis comes opportunity. Of course, you already know that, and while we grapple with the question of how our time at UVA will look different this semester, it begs the question of how honor looks in this COVID world. And the easy answer is, it looks the same. You see, all of this is a test of student self-governance, and whether or not we can uphold the values of honor. And I firmly believe we can pass that test, but it takes work. And with that, I'm going to say something that you may not want to hear, but needs to be said. The next 4 years won't be easy. You've worked so hard to get here, and not to take away from any of that, but during your time here at UVA, you will be tested and pushed to your limits in ways you never have before. And when you are pushed to those limits, it will be easy, so easy, to feel like you don't belong, to feel that this isn't the place for you. Now, I know that because I've been there. My second year here, I worked at Crossroads, a dining hall of sorts that you, unfortunately, or fortunately, are not getting to eat at right now. And I'd work the evening shift from 5:30 in the afternoon until 2:30 in the morning. And it was hard. My classmates and my friends would be coming back from bars and parties, and there I was, making them a burrito. And in that moment, I couldn't help but feel that I was different from them, that I was on the other side of the glass because I didn't belong. But the truth is that I, and every single one of you, was chosen to be here for a reason, and therefore you do belong. So I guess what I'm trying to say is this. We are all different pieces of this puzzle that makes the UVA community so great. We all come from different backgrounds and have our own strengths and weaknesses, likes and dislikes, but honor brings us together. This shared accord that we will hold ourselves to a higher standard, even in the face of adversity. In life, we have good times and we have bad times, ups and downs. Everything's great when times are good. It's easy to be honorable when you've studied and know all the answers on a test. But it's what we do in the hard times that really matters. How we respond to the current situation, both as individuals and as a community, defines who we are. As we make our way through this year and you continue your time here at UVA, always ask yourself this. How do you respond when times get hard? And the answer to that question is what sets us apart as UVA students. When times are tough, we don't cut corners, we don't falter. We stay true to who we are and keep pushing forward. That is what honor means, and that is what makes this community and the bond we share so great. Thank you, and welcome home.
Hi, my name's Gabby Cox. I'm a rising fourth year in the Batten School for Public Policy, and I'm currently representing the UJC as chair. I know this isn't necessarily the welcome you pictured when sending in your admittance acceptance letter, but this is our new reality. I hope you all are safe and healthy, and welcome to UVA. When I was sitting in your position my first year, a student leader said that life is about making choices and then capitalizing on opportunities to be happy with that choice. You all have already chosen to attend the University of Virginia. Over the next 4 years, you will have to answer the question, why did I stay? Every one of you will question if you made the right decision in coming to UVA, but one thing you should never question is your place here. Student governance is where I found my reason for staying. I define student governance with 3 phrases: having a voice, holding each other to a higher standard, and acknowledging the past while looking towards the future. Simply put, student governance is holding members of the community to a higher standard in order to craft a better future that students wish to see. Student governance is a multi-branch system, but the one that stuck out to me my first year was the University Judiciary Committee, otherwise known as the UJC. The UJC is a student-run organization that adjudicates violations of the university's 12 standards of conduct, which can be found online or on the plaques located in the first floor lounges of each dorm. Some examples can include drinking or smoking in dorms, to physical assault, drunk in public, and DUI charges. This year, the UJC is in a unique position where we are now tasked with adjudicating COVID-19 policy violations, which are classified as any act that violates local, state, federal, and/or university guidelines. Students who are brought before the UJC are tried for the alleged conduct by a jury of their peers, and if they plead guilty or are found guilty, are given a sanction. These sanctions are educational rather than punitive to help students understand our community values and the individual impact they have at the university. We don't operate on precedent, meaning there is no set outcome for any type of violation, and we take into account the full range of circumstances that define a single incident. The UJC is a fully run student organization. In our system, cases are investigated by students, parties are represented by students, and outcomes are decided by students. My time on the committee and at the University of Virginia has been deeply fulfilling. In my time here, students have stood in unity against neo-Nazis and alt-right members, filled with nothing but hate, on August 11th and August 12th. In the Charlottesville community just weeks ago, students stood in peaceful demonstration while Black students endured death threats. In a world our minorities have fought too long and too hard to have a voice. But I encourage all of you who are seeking change to get involved. Student governance opens a window for organizations like Black Student Alliance, Latinx Student Alliance, the LGBTQ+ community, and many others to demand more from its university and its leaders. One purpose of UVA is to promote a community bound together by foundational values of honor, integrity, trust, and respect. Class of 2024, use your voice to push for equitable change in an environment you are unsatisfied with. Thank you, and best of luck this year.
Unity, Virginia, hooray!